Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Welcome to the Biker Devotional. Today is August 25th, 2025, and we are looking at Proverbs chapter 25, verse 15. Proverbs 25, verse 15 says, "A ruler can be persuaded through patience. A gentle tongue can break a bone." A more literal translation is a person with authority in your life can be influenced to interact with you in specific ways through anger and outburst. But it's an ongoing anger and outburst. That's why it lists it as patience. But it's not a patient, gentle patience. It is a abrasive patience. A ruler can be persuaded to change the way they do things with enough pressure. And a gentle tongue can break a bone, or can also have a influence. It's interesting that we think that in our lives that we get things done quicker if we're more aggressive with it. And the reality is, in many ways, that can be true, but it means that we are losing so much more. You know, an example of that is if you have a giant stone in your yard and you want it gone, you could go at it with a jackhammer and beat it terribly, drill holes in it, and put stuff in it that causes it to crack. You could use dynamite. You could get a big tractor and heavy ropes and try to pull it out. I mean, there's all kinds of really aggressive ways, and you would have the influence and make it move. On the other side of that, a gentle trickling stream on a stone will wear it away over time. And you may end up with something so magnificent, we call it a Grand Canyon. Both accomplished the task. Both took time. One left great big holes and ruts in your yard, maybe damaged the foundation of your house if you use dynamite, definitely caused your neighbors to experience some of the outcome of that thing. I mean, if you had a jackhammer, they're listening to it run. If it's dynamite, they're experiencing all of that. If it's a tractor, it's out there just revving the engine. I mean, whatever. Everybody around experiences the chaos of it. But it still could be changed with just a gentle stream of water, right? Now, the amount of time that it takes still requires patience, doesn't it? One produces something that the outcome is much better. Now, don't get me wrong. You could also have a much more aggressive stream of water that would accomplish the same thing. And in comparison to the jackhammer, less likely to be abrasive. You know, years ago I had a property down in the southern part of Michigan. I had a huge rock in my yard, and it stuck up just above the ground. And so, like all the other rocks in the yard, I went to dig it up to get it out of my way so I wouldn't hit it with the lawnmower. And all the other rocks, they were They were big, 8, 10, 12 inches. They were big rocks, but I could get them up out of the ground, fill that hole, and plant the grass seed on it, and, I had a flat yard. But this one spot, I couldn't do that. And I started digging, and it just wouldn't come out. And finally, I realized that this thing was almost 4 foot in diameter, and probably as deep in the ground as that. And I barely had it covered. I barely had it above the ground. I had two choices. I could keep digging, which I tried, by the way. I went and I got my hose and I softened the ground because we had clay, and I dug and dug and dug, and I tried all the stuff, tried to break it with a sledgehammer, all of those things. What I found out was more important was just to level off the ground around it. I ended up with another foot of dirt over the top of that rock and kind of mounded it out a little bit, and the rock is probably still there today. But what I was trying to accomplish was the ability to mow my lawn without wrecking the blades on the lawnmower and without scalping the lawn with a harsh thing. And I accomplished that, didn't I? A ruler can be persuaded by a constant nagging, hitting, screaming, yelling, anger, or you can resolve the problem with just a gentle solution. Sometimes we need to remember aggression isn't necessarily the type of change we want in our lives. I love y'all. Hope you have a great day. God bless.